Hey guys, I'm gonna show you how to have an easier time playing yareli, as well as show you my build and steel path footage. But first I want to note that I was one of the first to say yareli was good, and I was hesitating to make the video because I figured somebody else would figure it out and post it, but I couldn't find anyone that did, so I just bit the bullet and did it myself. And yeah, the Warframe community that's supposed to be so like awesome and amazing, no, you guys are toxic. Like non-stop negative toxicity coming from both the forums and YouTube comments. You guys are toxic. Anyway, so in my first videos I was trying to explain how to use her, and I was purposely trying to not use overpowered gear to purely showcase yareli, not everything else. But since some people politely asked me what's my build and just what the heck am I doing and stuff, I'll explain that now. So like I explained in my first videos, I don't build yareli to do damage. I build her to survive, because my first main Warframe I ever mained, like if you look at my profiles, I still used her the most, I believe, is Mirage, and Mirage is weak, like she's a glass cannon. So I learned how to survive early on when I didn't even know how to play the game, and the game was harder back then with parkour and stuff like that. So I really had to figure out what the heck I'm doing, and I don't really like to look at people's videos and builds and stuff. I just try to figure it out by myself. So that might be part of the equation, maybe not just my build, but how I'm playing. So that's why I'm showcasing a little bit of like a few minutes of different fractions that I'm fighting in Steel Path, so you guys could see. So first and most important is stay on your damn board, because you're gonna die if you're not good at evading damage or enemies, or you're not sneaky and tactical. You just want to jump out there in the middle of madness like you see me doing. Stay on your board, obviously. Maybe you knew that, but I don't think all of you did, because I see a lot of times people are saying, I keep dying as yareli, or yareli is weak, she can't handle it, she's always dying. Stay on your board, step one. If you do get off your board, which is gonna happen at some point, be prepared for it. So for me, I use Mirage's ability. If you're really in a tight situation, you could use that, Eclipse. But if that's the case, you might just have the power to get back on your board anyway. But let's say you can't get back on your board because you're going through a hallway or some doorway you can't fit through or something like that, where you just don't want to be on your board. Use her Eclipse, use her ability, her Subsume ability, just like I said in my first video. I mean, if you really want to push yareli's damage, you could use Mirage's ability to further increase her damage output, but that's not what I use it for. Next up, since yareli's pistol based, obviously, use a pistol. Obviously, that's common sense, but what I mean is, in her offhand, since you probably have a kick gun, in her offhand, use a glaive. I know she's on the board most of the time, and the glaive doesn't work anymore when you're on the board, but when the few seconds when you're not on your board, that just may block enough shots to keep you alive when you're not on your board. You don't really have to put anything special on your glaive. Just put the blocking angle mod. I'll show it later in my build. Next, and maybe the most important thing for any frame that's squishy, don't have a pet where you need to resurrect them, because you're gonna die trying to pick up your pet. Also, make sure you keep your energy up. You see me countless times trying to boost my energy, both for shield gating and the ability to get back on my board or cast Eclipse if needed. I also cast sea snares all of the time because I don't really pay attention to shield gating. In fact, I used to not know what shield gating was, and I was doing it all the time without even knowing. So I just instinctively just use sea snares all the time, let it do its thing, crowd control, extra damage, give you some shield back if it's down. Spam it. You're getting energy back anyway. As for health, you could have Equilibrium, as well as my pet heals me, and he drops health orbs, so that's where my health comes from. but there's other ways to get health obviously, but that's just what I do. In the footage you're currently watching, I don't have equilibrium on, but if things get too hard I do put it on. Anyway, as you probably see from my gameplay, that's pretty much what I do, like guerrilla warfare. I just keep going back and forth, in and out. I stun them, give myself energy back, I blow up the room, keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's pretty much what I do. I also jump in the air a lot of the time, and being airborne, I take, 45% less damage reduction when I'm in the air, so that helps. Alright, now for my build, it's nothing fancy, but I survived Steel Path. Some people can't for some reason, I don't know, but this is what I do. First, you're gonna need this little guy. This is what I recommend because it keeps me alive. He should keep you alive, there should be no reason. You might even do better with him than me. You're gonna need this mod, and this mod. For sure. I wouldn't play him without them. Again, my build is nothing fancy, but it seems to get the job done. These are my stats, this is what it looks like. All that power is basically for my Marilena, that's what it's for, honestly. Oh, it's 40, it's not 45, it's 40% damage reduction. The range is to make your board bigger. These are just here for shield gating and for extra power for Marilena. The Umbra mods are for a little bit of survivability when shield gating fails, and equilibrium is what I would put in that empty spot, but I don't currently have room, and this is not a prime, so I really don't care enough. Plus, I didn't really want to put this much format into a non-prime. I was waiting to see what her augments were going to be first. All I really use for the glaive is this mod to increase the defense. I don't really throw the glaive or anything, I'm not fighting melee with her. For your primary, for yareli, which is going to be your pistol, your primary pistol, I'd say just do you, play with what's fun. But if you want to play with what's most broken, look online. I don't. My build is not going to be the most broken build, at least I don't think it's going to be, because I just slapped it together myself. So I'm sure you could find way stronger stuff online, or there's probably a stronger gun online. If you're copying my exact build, I would say pick the school so you could regenerate mana when you do Void Dash, because you're gonna need lots of mana, obviously, as you saw me playing. So overall, if you're trying to do like top DPS on a leaderboard or something, using her magic, you're probably not gonna reach there. Use her gun, that's what she's about. I explained in the first video. Use her if you like her, and then like what mods you're gonna put on her, put mods to keep her alive, because you're not gonna get anywhere as close to the other frames. When it comes to magical damage, build her like I said for like an Aros or like, you know, Mirage. Build her for survivability, and then do damage with your gun, and then get a broken ass gun and watch the damage come in. That's what she's about.